Welcome to Heidi Relationships. Today, we'll read some more stories from Reddit. But before we start, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. That would help the channel a lot. Thank you very much in advance.
The first one is titled, My 29M, wife, 27F, has been working from home the past few months and has started having her high school ex over a lot. I told her this is unacceptable. Am I in the wrong for this? Hey everyone, I know that the title may sound confusing without the background that I am about to give. So ever since virus started, my wife has been working from home. My job never let us do that, so I have still been driving to work every day. She has a friend that she occasionally hangs out with. He's been invited to hang out with both of us before too. He's nice, fun to hang around and pretty cool. I've had no problem with this. My wife made me aware pretty early on that she dated him in high school. She said that they dated their freshman and sophomore year. They never had sex but did mess around. They started reconnecting as friends during their senior year. At that tone he had a girlfriend, and she was starting to see another guy as well. She claims that after they broke up there was never anything romantic between them again. When virus started, my wife said that she would be able to work from home. I was glad and happy for her as I knew it'd be easier and even save gas. She said that her friend was going to be able to work from home too, so they may meet up sometimes to go over their work and help each other. They both work in a similar field. One day I came home and noticed that he was there. I thought nothing of it really as my wife had told me about this. They both had their computers and liked they were working pretty hard. For a while it was like this. Suddenly a few weeks in I would come home, and they would casually be hanging out and having fun. Sometimes they would be playing a game, sometimes they would be drinking, sometimes they would be eating. I started finding this a little bit weird. It seemed as though he was getting more attention than me and that she was having a better time with him than me. Then one day when I came home it was the final straw. They were both on the couch and her head was in his lap while they were watching TV. I waited until he left and then had a talk with her. I was fuming. I yelled at her and told her that their actions have been unacceptable and that there's no reason that she should be laying with a friend like that. I expressed how I felt like she has been showing him more attention than her husband and that it seemed like they were having more fun together than we do. Not to mention that they had dated before and fooled around. She got really upset and said I had no right to tell her that she can no longer hang around someone. She was mad that I seemed to claim that she was cheating on me with him and swore that she was not and would not do that. She said that all they were doing was relaxing and that it was not wrong to lay her head on his lap. The last 2 days he has not been at the house when I got home. She says that she has not seen him since our talk. I apologized for being so angry about it. She doesn't seem like she has really accepted my apology as she has been really quite around me ever since. How do I make things better? Is she cheating? How do I handle things between her and this friend? A user in the comments said, "You are not at all in the wrong here. At first it seemed innocent enough, but putting your head into the lap of someone you're not with is suspicious as hell. She's right that you have no right to tell her to do something, but since you explained and asked her to stop and she's being defensive like this, I'm getting a ton of red flags. If she's not cheating, she's sure not showing respect for you as her partner. It wouldn't surprise me if she is cheating though with how overly close they seem to be getting." Another user said, "That's not okay, she's not respecting your relationship. Her head shouldn't be in his lap at all, and it should make you uncomfortable since they used to have a relationship. If the roles were reversed and you had an ex's head in your lap, she would also be uncomfortable. Her getting mad at you for questioning it is gaslighting to the situation and you. I wouldn't put my head in guy's lap if I didn't feel some type of chemistry. It's definitely flirty. I think you guys need to discuss boundaries. It's important that you guys agree on what you consider to be okay and not okay. If she thinks that type of behavior with an ex is acceptable, and you don't, then things may not work. I would see where things go, and what she does next. Her actions will speak louder than words. If these situations keep occurring though, it may be time to rethink if this is someone you want to be with. The next one is titled, Update, my 29M wife, 27F, has been working from home the past few months and has started having her high school ex over a lot. So last week I posted on a few pages about my wife spending time at our house with an old ex that she used to have from high school. He had been coming over and working from home with her ever since virus started. At first, I thought nothing of it as they were just simply helping each other with their work. Then they started to hang out and stuff more. When I caught her laying down with her head in his lap, I had enough. I told her he could no longer come over. She was mad and took offense to this but agreed. Most people here agreed with me that it was sketchy for her to do this. I was made aware that he could still be coming over during the day and leaving before I get there. I ended up buying a camera that I could set up and hide while I am at work. I put one in the living room and one in the bedroom. The first day they were set up I saw nothing unusual. The second day was when it happened. The ex came over. At first, they were just working, but then he started to get pretty touchy with her. It progressed until they needed up going to our bedroom and sleeping together. I was shocked. I wasn't sure what to do. As soon as I saw my wife again, I questioned her if she had been seeing him anymore. She denied it. I told her that I had cameras installed in the house. Her face changed completely then. She knew what I had seen. She immediately started crying. I told her to leave the house. She tried to apologize and explain, but I wasn't having any of it. Since then, we have talked to each other once. I told her that I don't see how anything can happen besides a divorce. She said she doesn't want that and asked if I would go to couples counseling one time before making that final decision. I reluctantly agreed. I don't expect it to work and I'm mainly doing it to humor her. I'm still looking and trying to contact divorce attorneys as I'm typing this. The next one is titled, Something Isn't Right. I'm 42 meters. My wife is 43F. Been married since we were 19. Next year will be our 25th anniversary. We have 3 daughters, a 19-year-old at college and twin 15-year-olds. Everything at home is mostly like normal. My wife has always worked and had individual outside interests like yoga, pottery, etc. That's fine. So, do I. In the last several months something has just been off. Like a disturbance in the force. Hard to pinpoint but always there. She's a little more distant sometimes even during sex. We still do our regular weekend morning sex but lately it feels like her mind is elsewhere. She's present in our marriage but not present. I ask if something is bothering her, but she says no every time. I wouldn't suspect infidelity, but she has been spending more time out of the house alone in the last few months. Probably last 6 months. She was busy but always upbeat and very energetic and almost giddy. Maybe 3+ weeks ago that changed. She started being around much more but aloof. She now comes up to my office in the house and hangs out with me but is like sad all the time. She wants to be around me all the time which I love but the way she's acting is freaking me out a little. The weird thing is our twins are acting weird too. They're being extra sweet to me and offering to help with taking trash out, etc. And trust me, that is not typical behavior for them. It's like they all know I have cancer or something and I don't know. Their weird, loving behavior started several weeks ago about the same time as my wife's weird behavior. The only reason I'm on this sub is because I looked at our Verizon bill 2 months ago and there was a ton of texts with her and some unknown number. I asked about them and she said it was one of her girlfriends. I looked at her phone and there were 0 texts with that number. I asked again and she said she deleted them to save space, but no other thread was deleted that I noticed. This last 6 months has been weird but the last 3 weeks has been weirder. I'm lost. A user in the comments said, 10-1, she was cheating and her AP broke it off. She may be wanting to be around you in case the AP spouse is trying to contact you. Call the number from a landline or cell not associated with you. When they answer, ask for your wife. Also check your Facebook messages in the message request section. That is where messages go from folks you are not friends with go. Another user said, you need to find out who that number belongs to. This all sounds extremely suspicious. If she was cheating, which is highly likely, then she will probably cheat again. Keep a close watch on things, and don't say a word. Get STD testing. Cheaters do not use condoms. None of this bodes well. But at least your kids are nearly grown. The next one is titled, Update. Something isn't right. I decided to call my oldest daughter yesterday. I told her everything I said in my first post, and she told me she was going to talk to her sisters. The twins idolize her and fear her a lot if they piss her off. She called me early this morning and said she talked to the twins and she's coming home Friday for the weekend so we can talk. I told her you can't leave me hanging like that. My heart can't take it. Tell me what's going on. She said it's bad but could have been worse, told me not to worry, and that the soonest she can come home and talk is Friday. She said it's bad but there's some good too. The twins swore her to secrecy. They and my wife do not know our oldest daughter is coming home this weekend and she said not to tell them. She was adamant about that. Sorry, that isn't much of an update. I guess I have to wait until Friday. A lot of replies here have me scared to death as well as other threads I've read here. It's like things like this never have a happy ending. I fear the worst. I think she has had an affair and that the twins know. My daughter was cryptic in her phone call and obviously doesn't want to talk about this on the phone. Thank you to everyone who replied. I appreciate it. I guess I'll know more on Friday. The next one is titled, Second Update. Something isn't right. New update. Not much to say really. It's what everyone thought. My wife had an affair. It wasn't a coworker or someone from one of her hobbies, it was a friend of ours. The husband of one of the couples we were good friends with. Of course, he'll never be a friend again and I'm adamant about informing his wife. The twins busted her out with him when she was supposed to be at yoga. They were really upset and confronted her. She said she wasn't going to leave me or anything even remotely like that. It was just a fling. They both liked how it felt to be like kids dating and sneaking around. She really didn't think how devastating it would be. What she has put the twins through is almost unforgivable. She ended it immediately and was planning on taking the secret to the grave. She told the girls she should carry the guilt and that if she told me, it would ease her guilt but crush me. It has. They agreed and they were all going to keep this a secret. My oldest daughter went off on all of them. She was furious. I'm still thinking about everything. I packed a bag and left, which caused my wife to collapse to the floor as a blubbering mess. I've shut off the location services on my phone and left. I drove about an hour away and got a cabin in one of our state parks. I don't want to talk to anyone right now. Only my oldest daughter knows where I am. She came and visited today, and we had a great chat. She said of course her mother would do something like this because she's been a pathetic cliché her whole life. My wife follows trends. Yoga, essential oils, CBD. Any shiny new thing that comes along and she gets obsessed by it. Now she's middle-aged and being yet another cliché. The twins are furious at their mother and scared I'm not going to come home. I honestly don't know if I am. I really don't want to talk to them right now either. My oldest said she's coming home as soon as her semester is over and she's going to make their lives a living hell. She had to leave a couple hours ago and go back to school and now the sadness sets in. I'm a middle-aged guy sitting alone in a cabin who thought he had the rest of his life planned out and now I don't. I probably won't post again about this. I'm going to stay here as long as I can afford it and figure out my next move. Life sucks. The next one is titled, Update 3. I talked to my wife, told her I want to come home. I also asked her to leave to give me space. She said, and I quote, "No, I will not abandon our beautiful life and love because of my stupid mistake. I will fight for us to my last breath and fix this. We will get through this. I am so sorry. I can't even put down in words how sorry. Just come home and let me make this right. We will overcome this. You and I can do anything." This is how she is. How she's always been. She's very stubborn, so I don't know what to do. I do want space. I've enjoyed being at this cabin. The hiking trails are amazing and have been very therapeutic. I know it's very temporary and I need to go home, but I also know my wife. What she said it would take God himself to get her out of there. She also won't give me space. I know if I go home, she'll smother me and work me down incessantly until I go along with whatever her plan is. I'd rather not go back for a while. I need to be ready to withstand her onslaught of love and rationalization because she is a guru of that. She reads all these bullcrap self-help and motivational books and websites. I paid cash for a week at the cabin. I did that so she wouldn't know where I am, or she would have tracked me down and shown up here. I've already gotten emails that a different device has logged on to my credit card sites. Both of them. That's her. I knew if I paid by credit card that she'd look it up and track me down. I also talked to the twins and told them they were put in a horrible spot. It wasn't their fault, and that Dad loves them. They said Mom was a blubbering mess Friday, but by late Saturday she was in her "I can fix this, we shall overcome" mode. She is supposedly reading everything she can find online about fixing your marriage after you cheated. That's how she is. She'll obsess over this. I just want more alone time so I can process everything. The next one is titled, Update 4. I definitely don't want to ask my wife. I don't feel like rehashing to this point, so please look at my post and comment history to catch up. I was driving back and forth for work from the cabin, but lucky me. The coronavirus came along and now we're all working remotely. That's nice since I'm about 100 miles away from home. I've been allowing my wife a couple-minute phone call with me per night. Just enough to let everyone know I'm fine, but I don't want to be bothered. I communicate with my daughters by text. Young people don't realize you can actually call people with their smartphones. Anyway, I know I can forgive my wife, but God's honest truth, I don't see any way I can stay with her. Call me stubborn or bullheaded, but I have my pride as a man, and I've been racking my brain trying to figure out how I maintain my pride as a man and stay in this marriage. I think those two things are mutually exclusive. If I want to keep my pride as a man, then I have to divorce her for such an egregious offense against our marriage and me. If I want to stay in the marriage, then I have to surrender my pride as a man. I don't think I could live like that. I don't want to have that discussion with my wife because she'll twist it all up and within an hour have me agreeing with her logic. Have you ever met one of those people that get their way with everyone? That's her. Someone please tell me that I could stay in this marriage and keep my pride as a man. Is that possible? I mean really possible and not faking it? A user in the comments said, "First, I want to say as a woman, that it's your pride, period, that is at stake, your self-respect, your sense of dignity and worth. It is not related to your gender, as I feel the exact same way, and I am sure many women in my position can say the same. I only emphasize this because you are first and foremost an individual person who has been terribly hurt, and you need to do the right thing and the best thing for you and for your daughters. My cheater is also very good at arguing me out of things and twisting things up and making me doubt my own feelings. You taking your space is vital so you can get past the initial period of turmoil and figure out what you really want to do. My advice would be to propose a temporary separation, non-negotiable, beginning with a period of limited contact only regarding the kids and shared assets, and that she should move out of the house since she was the one who was unfaithful. I suggest at least a month because it's going to take at least that long just for your emotions to stabilize somewhat. Tell her that she needs to do this thing to prove her sincerity, and if she can't do it then you are going straight to divorce. Let her know that she can't have her way absolutely, that as the injured party you get to say what you need to heal, and if she can't do that then there will be consequences. This sounds like orders. I'm making suggestions, but I think this will give you some much needed headspace. In the meantime, please look after yourself, keep eating and exercising, keep talking to us and seeing a therapist to process everything. I do not suggest marriage counseling until you feel somewhat stabilized. I think it may make things worse, at least that has been my experience. Some hard truth: I do not think that it is likely that you can stay in your marriage and keep your pride, dignity, self-respect. I think it will be very hard. But you don't really have to make that decision right now. You can do other things to rebuild your self-esteem. You can take control and let your wife know that you are not just going to cave into everything she demands of you. The next one is titled, Last Update. Update. Wife cheated, twins caught her. This will probably be my last update. My time is up at the cabin. I'm trying to lease an apartment, but that's harder than you think right now with this virus going on. I told my wife there is no way for me to stay with her and keep my dignity. I told her I wouldn't be the man she claimed to love if I stayed with her. I'd be a broken man with no dignity, and I'd resent her. I told her we can't live like that. She said we can work it out and that I'm the only man she loves. I said obviously our marriage sucks if you did what you did. We talked and agreed that it's time to split. I talked with my twins who are heartbroken about everything. They know I love them and will always be there for them. Not much of an update. I gave it a lot of deep reflection, and there is no way I could stay with a person who betrayed me like that. My self-respect and dignity are important to me, and I'd lose both if I stayed. This is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the relationship stories. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video and write a comment. I really appreciate your support and it helps my channel so much. Thank you.